Folks, we're live on a Tuesday night after Labor Day. We have survived so far Hurricane Dorian out in the good old Atlantic Ocean. It's basically destroyed, the Bahamas. It's just absolutely incredible what this storm has done to the Bahamas. Category 5 set over them for about 48 hours. It's like a F3 tornado. Absolutely crazy how that happened. And our prayers, our thoughts go out to them out there in, it's amazing that hit them so hard out there in the Bahamas. So we got Aaron. He's filling in for Bill tonight. Aaron, what's up?
Good evening, Matt. I'm glad that we are both safe here in Central Florida from Dorian's wrath. It looks like we have dodged a major bullet here. So
yes,
glad to have you on the phone on the line with me tonight.
Yep. So we're surviving. Like I said, thoughts and prayers to the people of the Bahamas. Wonderful people out there, hardworking people. They really provide a lot of tourism, a lot of help for these cruise ship lines, and they've just been absolutely devastated. The pictures, the videos, the phone calls you hear, the people screaming for help, busting out their attics because the water was coming so high. No one would have thought it was set on them for about 2 days at a Cat 5 and just keep on just steamrolling them. It's like, some people said it was like Harvey in Texas. Harvey in Texas was a rainstorm that just kept on going and going and going for like 5, 6, 7 days. This was wind, rain, storm surge, you name it, it was hitting them. So it's like comparing apples to oranges, really, in this situation. Harvey was a big flood event, but my goodness gracious, those people in the Bahamas, man. I bet they're very resilient people. Very resilient people. They've seen hurricanes before. This isn't their first rodeo. They will rebuild. So far, the loss of life, not as much as I thought I would hear at first. But as time goes by, I pray for them, and hopefully there's not that much more loss of life. I know their property has been devastated, but we'll see how it goes. And thoughts and prayers to them. All right, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, folks. First off, I want to say thank you for listening to us on iHeartRadio, Instagram, YouTube, Blog Talk Radio, all the different ways you can listen to us. You can catch us also at facebook.com/BrowerPort for all the latest news articles and memes that we share throughout the week. Tonight on the show, California Appeals Court with a tremendous overturn of a conviction, which we're going to go into that. Publix here in Florida, if you're in the southeast United States, you understand what Publix grocery stores are. They have a controversy, unfortunately. Ginsberg, it's like, they have that Clinton hit list. The Clinton friend list where everybody dies. We're going to talk about Ruth Bader Ginsburg and what's going on with her. And we're going to talk about Popeyes chicken, Popeyes sandwich versus Chick-fil-A sandwich. If y'all ate the sandwich, let us know. We want to hear from you there. And Trump tweets and the feel-good story of the day. As always, we are here for you, and we want to hear from you, so give us a call if you'd like to join us tonight live on the program. So let's talk about this. California Appeals Court overturns the sole conviction of Kate Steinle's death. So California State Appeals Court Friday overturned the lone conviction against the undocumented immigrant, which we call illegal alien, who shot and killed Kate on the San Francisco waterfront in 2015, a case which drew national attention. It became one of President Trump's campaign promises was to help stop the illegal immigration. So Jose Garcia Zarite, who was in the U.S. illegally, has been deported to his native Mexico 5 times, was acquitted in his November 2017 of first and second degree murder, involuntary manslaughter, and assault with a semi-automatic weapon. He was convicted of 1 count of being a felon in possession of a firearm. On Friday, the First District Court of Appeal in San Francisco overturned that conviction because the judge failed to give the jury the option of acquitting him on theory he only possessed the weapon for a moment. California, one of the strictest gun law states in the country, much less the world, is playing games with semantics now on words. Aaron, what's your thoughts on this, man? This is absolutely crazy.
This one is just, I wish I could say it was surprising that this came to this particular point, but just with what we know happens in California, we know the way that they want to write the rules after the crime has been committed, it doesn't surprise me. It's sad, completely sad. This young lady was minding her own business, walking with her dad on the pier there in San Francisco, or in that area, on the waterfront, and this gentleman, who should not have been here in the first place, whether he picked it up and it went off, or whether he picked it up and intentionally did this, shouldn't matter at this point. The fact is, the young lady unfortunately got hit by the bullet. She died. And, had this been a regular citizen of the United States, had this been John Smith or, Jim Wilson, of course I'm making those names up here, had it been just a regular U.S. citizen, they would have thrown the book at him. They would have been upheavals from the left in Hollywood and all over the nation for, gun confiscation and, let's see this person get, hung in the streets and kind of stuff like that. It's really maddening, and I feel for this young lady's family. Kate Steinle's family for the last 4 years has gone through all kinds of legal battles and, testifying and everything that comes along with that. I'm sure they probably had, letters of support. They probably had letters of hate. They probably had all kinds of things that have come their way. And then to have this last Friday, it's like getting shot all over again, in a way. And this guy, the bottom line is this: whether he did it intentionally or not, whether I read an article that said he picked up a shirt and the gun was inside the shirt and it went off. Even if I believe that, there still has to be someone who's held legally responsible for her death. And now it's just like it was just an accident. An accident can still have ramifications of someone being held responsible for it, manslaughter or whatever the case is. But because he's an immigrant, or in this case an illegal alien, and because that's what we're supposedly against right now as conservatives, he gets a free pass. He's probably going to be back out on the street again at some point, which is very scary. So to say I'm angry about it, Matt, is honestly an understatement. This is the same government that supposedly is here to protect us, and in this situation, not only do they not protect, they actually are taking away the only thing that was holding anything for this guy in the court system.
It's amazing that they're not going after these type of people. They're allowing this to happen. They're like, we're here to protect you. Give us your guns and we'll protect you. I mean, that's just, they lied again. They protect criminals. They don't protect the innocent. The family tried to sue.
I know this isn't in the article we're looking at right now, Matt, but the family of Kate Steinle tried to sue the city of San Francisco for wrongful death, and it was thrown out. And I understand the reason it was thrown out. I don't agree with it, but someone has to be held accountable for this. It's maddening. We can blame, the left wants to blame the gun. The common sense folks like you and myself, we blame the person who made the decision to either pick up the gun or to fire the weapon in the first place. It's not the gun's fault. The gun wasn't designed to accidentally kill someone. The gun was designed for defense, for whether it's your home or whether it's, as a police officer. And I believe that's what this gun was, if I remember correctly. Matt, you probably know a little bit more about it than I do. I believe it was a gun that had been stolen from...
I think it was stolen from a Fish and Wildlife officer.
That's what it was. Maybe a year or so beforehand.
Yeah.
So
the gun was just sitting out there.
So at the end of the day, and I'm just throwing out my 2 cents here, which isn't worth anything at this point, but if I am out if I'm out in a public place and I find a weapon sitting on the ground, it's wrapped up in a T-shirt, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that law enforcement knows that this weapon is there. I'm not going to sit there and try to handle it and try to figure out what's going on with it, because who knows if I shoot myself or somebody else by mistake. So there's that element of it. I want to make sure that the appropriate authorities come and investigate where this thing came from. I tell them, hey, I found this sitting here. I just want to let somebody know so nobody gets hurt. In this case, not only did somebody get hurt, they died, and then at the same time, you're basically making them relive this whole memory of everything all over again. You had hope at one point of maybe justice will be served. You'll never get your daughter back. I mean, she's dead, unfortunately, so that'll never change. But at one point, up until this past Friday, this family had hope that at least the person who was responsible for her death was going to pay some sort of penalty. Nope. He gets off scot-free.
So banning the guns didn't work. That's where it comes down to. So we're talking about, let's ban the guns, let's ban the guns, let's ban the guns. Okay, even if the guns were banned, it still didn't solve the issue. The issue, when it comes down to it, is bad people doing bad things. If this guy had not come in for, I guess, the 6th time illegally, this would never have happened to her. But they're saying, well, the judge should have instructed the jurors. It's like, maybe he just all of a sudden touched it and went off. I mean, come on, man. We got to really, stop and look at this for what it is. It's a scam. It's an outright scam what they're trying to do to the American people, especially the people of California. They continue to do this to the people of California on a constant basis. This continues to happen in California, where the illegal citizens of California continue to get screwed by these guys. Continue. And this is not stopping. This is constant. It's a constant
This is not
battle.
just California either. Yeah. I mean, Matt, this isn't just California either. There was some news that broke here over the last, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 days, probably late last week probably is what it was. And it was in Maryland. There's a particular county in Maryland. The name of the county escapes my memory right now, but there was a group of illegal immigrants. I think there was, if I remember correctly, 4 of them, and they all had raped young girls. I mean, under 12 years old. And the leader of that particular county, who made them a sanctuary county, basically said, hey, I'm not going to answer any questions about this. I mean, how insane is that? Your own people are being tortured, raped, murdered. Families are being, broken apart because of these crimes that are being committed. And yet all you can say is, well, I feel like that's the best thing for us to do.
Yeah.
That really makes me angry.
That's what it comes down to, is these elected representatives, or even non-elected representatives, the people that are appointed by the representatives, honestly, they don't really care about people. They don't care about the citizens anymore. It's like the presidential candidates standing up in front of everybody saying, hey, let's give illegal aliens free health care. What? I mean, y'all can't even get everybody health care now. I mean, in this, it's a game of semantics when you look at what they're saying. It's a health insurance issue. It's not really a health care issue. You can take care of yourself in the United States. Generally, you got a cold, just go get some cold and flu medicine. You're good to go. But
bingo.
We've got, I mean, it's like they go into the ER. I've got a cold. No, ER is not for colds, you morons. But they'll go in there and they'll clog up the system, and they can't pay. So you have these ER doctors, you have nurses, you have people, intake people. You have all these people that are paying for nothing. Because here's the thing. Those people, they're going in there, they cannot be refused in the ER. It's a law. It's a federal law saying you cannot refuse people going through the ER. So these people use the ER as a walk-in clinic. Then people with health insurance get screwed because guess what? The hospitals have to get paid somehow because these morons aren't going to pay anything. That's what happens, folks.
Yep.
This is California. This is Californication of the United States of America. You can't punish people that do something wrong because it's not their fault. Maybe he just touched the gun and it went off. Come on, people. The guy is a criminal. He continues to break the law. And the people of San Francisco, I'm really surprised. Do they even care? Do the people of San Francisco care about people getting murdered? Because all they keep doing is voting for Democrats that will give away everything. And these people, these ultra rich people from this tech boom that's happening in San Francisco, I mean, if you really cared about people, give your money to a charity. I mean, that's all they do is just take money, take money, take money. And the government's not a damn charity, folks. The government's there to make sure the roads are paved, there's a fire department, there's a police department, and that's pretty much what they're supposed to do. But they keep creating these laws. They don't even enforce the laws that are on the books. They don't even enforce the laws. They don't want to cooperate with the feds to get these illegal aliens out. We'll take care of them. No, you won't. When President Trump threatened to dump them all on you, guess what they said? Oh, we don't want them. President Trump's trying to weaponize illegal aliens. What? This is what happens.
And if this doesn't illustrate the best reason why, or the best way to differentiate between Trump and any of the candidates, either that ran in 2016 or that are running in 2020, I don't know what a better example is. Donald Trump has said from the moment he started running in June of 2015, so that was over 4 years ago, I'm here to put America first, make America great again. And you look at the polar opposite on the left, I don't hear a single word about anything to make America better, or it's all about we've got to give illegal immigrants everything. Look, I go to work, and I know, Matt, you go to work too, and we work hard for what we get.
Absolutely.
To better our families or better ourselves, or to have a little enjoyment once in a while in our lives, and they want to basically give all that stuff for free to someone who's never worked. I'm not gonna say they never worked a day in their life, but they aren't working for it for sure. They want to just give it to them.
Yeah,
like
rewarding bad behavior. I mean,
exactly.
I mean, we're told as parents, don't do that to your kids. Don't reward bad behavior. Mm-hmm. You'll create a brat. You'll create an entitled brat. But that's what the Democrats do on a daily basis. I mean, even Republicans do the same thing too. I mean, you can look at corporate stuff too, corporate handouts. But we can't continue to give it all away at every point. I mean, that's craziness. I just cannot believe people will allow this to happen. But let's move on to the next topic here. Oh my God, this Dorian storm has been something else, man. If you want anxiety and panic attacks, I'm sure everybody with anxiety and panic attacks in Southeast or Central Florida has gone nuts. Absolutely. I know people have been drinking beer, probably alcohol, trying to get through this thing. Folks, if you're not in Florida on the East Coast, and you're like, oh, this Dorian thing, whatever. This Dorian thing has absolutely been crazy. Absolutely nuts. Sitting, just turning and churning for days on end. Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely. So there's a story at a Publix store here in Florida where, I mean, Publix is one of the largest grocery store chains in the country. It's based out of Lakeland, Florida, where we're from. And they have made cakes in the past. They did one for Hurricane Irma. They did a Hurricane Irma cake. They done a Dorian cake. And did you see the cake that we posted earlier today, Aaron? The one with the building in Orlando that nobody works in and it's never been finished. It's like that building versus Dorian 2019.
The I-4 on I-4 is what they call it.
Yes. Yeah. It was that first Dorian 2019. Unfortunately, Dorian didn't take it out. I mean, that just tells you that building's like going to be through the Walking Dead and the zombie apocalypse. Go there. It won't fall down. Just put it that way. So Publix had made a cake, a hurricane-themed cake with Florida on it, and it had Dorian, it had like a hurricane symbol looking like it's going to hit Florida. Folks, these people, these snowflakes come out of nowhere, all pissed off, having a hissy fit, like, oh, I can't believe Publix would do this. Well, guess what, folks? We've been sharing memes on Facebook for days, making fun of the storm, having a good time. Here's the thing. Lighten the hell up. If you don't like it, call 1-800-GIVE get the F out. Just stop. just stop. Get some help. Because it's like, it amazes me, Aaron, that these people have nothing better to do than go on social media and start bashing Publix. Publix is a great corporation, gives a lot back to the communities, does really great work for people. And all these people do is whine and complain beyond belief.
No, I mean, yeah, I did see some of the cakes. In fact, somebody offered to get one for my birthday over the weekend, and I said, no, I'm good. I don't really need it. But
it's Aaron's birthday, folks. Let's give him a little clap, everybody. It's Aaron's birthday.
I can maybe, Matt, understand after the hurricane, like if it had made landfall here in Florida.
It's your favorite.
There we go with the tiger again.
It's a handsome tiger. Only for your birthday, though.
Yes, it is. It is. So I can somewhat understand if Irma, or not Irma, but in this case Dorian, had leveled the east coast of Florida and come inland and done a bunch of damage, and then this came out afterwards. Then I could be like, okay, that's insensitive. But in this case, it's all in good taste, pun intended. Mm-hmm. You know, trying to have you just mentioned how for the last probably week, people have been anxious and, thinking about, do I need to board up my windows? All the stuff that goes along with this. I remember when Irma hit 2 years ago, for 10 days before that thing hit, it was just like, what do we do? How do we handle this? Where are we, and I'm sure you probably went through the same thing. So I think this time around, this is like comic relief. This is like, hey, you know what? We don't want this stupid storm to hit us. Let's make a cake out of it.
Let's make fun of it.
Who in the world gets offended by that?
Let's make fun of the storm. Maybe it'll want to go away.
Yeah.
And here's people don't understand.
Who on earth gets offended by that?
We have hurricane parties in Florida. There's people buying up beer and alcohol for this thing. In case the power went out, you would have parties. You would come together, your neighbors, have a good time till the power came back on, and that's it. It's not a big deal. But you got snowflakes out there, and you got these ultra-leftists all of a sudden buying bottled water, and they're buying gasoline. Holy shit. I mean, it's like, I thought I just want
to throw an announcement out there. If you are listening to the show right now, we are live here at 6:23 on September 3rd, 2019, as Dorian sits there, or whatever it's doing right now. I'm not really sure. If you are offended by this cake that Publix has made, I urge you to call in right now at 516-666-9875 and tell me why you're offended. I'll wait for your response.
Exactly. You know what they are, Aaron? They're keyboard warriors. I'm gonna go on the Publix Facebook page and I'm gonna tell them all about how I am deeply offended. While they go to Walmart and have a fist fight in the parking lot. That's your clientele. I mean, it's ridiculous, these people. It's like, grow up. It's a cake. It's like, I don't get people anymore. I mean, it's just trying to have a good time. I mean, it's trying to make fun of it. I mean,
wait a minute, aren't we supposed to bake? Are we supposed to bake cakes for things we don't agree with too? I mean,
that's kind of the thing.
The outrage there?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, remember when Walmart wouldn't do the Nazi cake? I mean, they didn't get in trouble for that, did they? No. They didn't do the Hitler cake for the kid. The kid was named Adolf Hitler, the little boy. They didn't make the Adolf Hitler.
Wow, I do remember that.
But they did make a cake out of styrofoam and give it to somebody.
Wow.
You remember that? It was not too long ago.
That was probably 4 or 5 years ago, yeah.
No. This happened within the last 6 months. The styrofoam
really?
Cake. Yes, there was photos going around. These people have bought a cake from Walmart. It was frosted. When they cut into it, it was styrofoam. Who in the hell thought that was a good idea at Walmart? It was a Walmart cake. I mean, it was cheap for a reason. It was made of damn styrofoam. Oh, my God.
Not like that one lady a few weeks back that was walking around eating the cake and then didn't want to pay for the whole thing.
Oh, remember she ate half of it? So, she wanted it half off? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah.
We got a lot of quick stories here on the program. You know what we need to do, Matt? We need to get a Brower Report cake made at Publix, just to say we support the local.
Oh yeah,
Publix,
we should do that.
I mean,
Absolutely.
that would be.
You know what? That'd be great. And very soon, what we're going to try to do, folks, we're going to try to do a live show with all the Brower Report people. We're going to try to do a cookout. Then we're going to do a show. So we're going to work on a date and a time where we can get everybody together, and we're going to do a show. It's going to be like Captain Planet with all of our powers combined. We are the Brower Report, and we're going to destroy all the liberalism in this country at one time. It's going to be great. I can't wait. It's going to be awesome. We did that show.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, we did that years ago, and we had a bunch of us, and we did tinfoil hats on our heads, and we took a picture at the end. Because, conspiracy theories and all, it's all fake news. It's all fake. All right, so I'm a big supporter of Publix. Love the people down at Publix. They're great people. Chicken tender sub. If you haven't had a chicken tender sub, get one of those bad boys. They are so good. Honey butter, press it. Ugh, perfect. And Publix is not a sponsor of the show, but it's so good. Excellent.
We're giving them free advertisement here, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. But, yeah, so everybody just grow up. It's fine. It'll be all okay. All right, so there was this tweet. I got to click on the link because I need to see it right now. So let's see. Let's see the tweet. I actually have it right here, too, because you know what? I'm all about the technology. Oh, my God. Here we go. All right, so this person, Michelle, at For All Soul Kind, I have no idea. Maybe a hippie, I have no idea. But she had a good tweet. So she tweeted a picture of Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Bader up. Ooh, sorry.
Ooh, yeah, that's a bad.
Yeah,
that's in bad taste there, Matt.
Yeah, I know. I apologize. So it's a serious question. Have you ever met anyone who has survived 1, colon cancer, 1999? 2, pancreatic cancer, 2009. 3, lung cancer, 2018. 4, pancreatic cancer again in 2019. 5, many rounds of chemo and radiation without ever losing a hair on their head. Hashtag right to try. Hashtag elite treatments. So, and this person has a valid point. She was just out the other day doing an interview. I don't know if it was pre-taped or 10 years ago, and they just rolled it out, acting like it was something new. But she has, every time you see her, she's always got the same pulled back hairstyle and stuff. She doesn't lose her hair after chemo treatments. Have you noticed that? The pictures that have come out over the years? And I'm not trying to be conspiracy theory guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess on her. That's got to be some sort of a wig or some sort of a hairpiece that she's wearing for appearance sake. I mean, she's probably wearing a ton of makeup. What is she, 90 or 88, somewhere in there?
She's 80, 86, I think. I think she's 86.
Late 80s, I know that.
Yeah, but she has continued to survive through all these things, even later in her life. She's had 2 bouts with cancer in the last 2 years, and she comes out of this all the time. So the real question is there elite treatments for people that are in power? And I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theory guy, but according to these dates and stuff, there might be. I mean, she was in her late 60s when she had colon cancer. And pancreatic cancer has a very high mortality rate. She's had it twice. It's amazing how these people continue to survive.
Unless they're catching it right at the very beginning each time, you know what I mean?
Well, Alex Trebek had stage 4, and he survived. Now, I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, he's got a lot of money. I'm sure he can get the best treatment possible. But now we're talking about, the liberals in this country are always like, let's make it free. Let's make it accessible to everyone. But at the same time, people aren't getting the same treatment as the elites in this country. And that's the sad part. They always scream, let's have it equal for everybody. An equal chance, equal opportunity, They create all these laws to make sure everybody gets treated the same. But they're not being treated the same. That's where I get angry. It's like you all continue to say these things, but you're lying to us. You're lying to the American people.
Well, it's never And that's the one thing that not everyone understands, even on the conservative side, unfortunately. You have to really watch closely. In order to spot something that's counterfeit, you have to know what the original thing looks like in the first place. My point behind that is it's always the heartstring stuff that the Democrats want to tug on to try and get a vote on something or to try and pass something through the eyes of, being social. For instance, in 2010, when they passed Obamacare, it was, little Timmy who has this disease and yada, 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 isn't going to be able to afford his health insurance. Well, the one thing they did do a pretty good job of is screwing everyone over on health insurance costs.
To be the worst.
Everyone's insurance costs went up.
People lost their insurance. They lost their doctors.
Yeah.
He's like,
if you like your doctor, you can keep your doctor. That was the biggest lie out of everything. He went
for the heartstrings, and he single-handedly tried. And here's the thing, Aaron, and I'm not trying to be a conspiracy theory guy tonight on the show, but he really was trying to destroy the private health insurance sector. It just didn't work. He really tried.
Oh, no, that was the intentions of his entire presidency. Barack Obama's entire presidency hinged around Obamacare. If it had not passed in 2010, he would have certainly lost the re-election bid in 2012. No question about that.
He should have lost it still.
And he really should have. And I really think that we had a weak candidate, Mitt Romney, who didn't want to fight for himself. That is where the difference. That is the sole difference between the candidates that have lost in major Republican elections and Donald Trump. Donald Trump is there to say, look, I'm not playing by the normal set of rules you guys have set up for me. I'm going to stand up and defend myself. I'm going to stand up and defend those who defend me. So that's where the difference is. We could have a whole week-long show on that. But Barack Obama, his intention, and I think this is the way that Obamacare was written, it was written to fail. It was written with the intentions of, we tried really hard, and now it didn't succeed, and then they would throw the blame onto the Republicans, and in some cases they probably had their valid points, but they wanted to throw it back on the Republicans so that they could basically do what they've done in all these Democratic cities like Detroit, Chicago, San Francisco, go right down the list. They wanted to throw the blame out there so that the uneducated voter would say, yeah, I don't want to vote for these Republicans or these conservatives because they screw me over every time. But yet it was them who actually screwed it over in the first place. They let the whole thing bankrupt itself. And then, just like has always been said, for anybody on the liberal side or on the Democratic side, you never let a good situation where something has gone wrong go to waste politically, whether it's a hurricane, whether it's a shooting, whether it's some sort of controversy where people are caught up in financial stuff. I mean, across the board, it is. I mean, it's liberalism 101 right out of their stinking playbook directly from the pages there, and it's very easy to read. And I just wish that more conservatives would be more gung-ho about how to call them out on it, because that's really how we win elections.
Yeah,
that's how Donald Trump won in 2016. That's how hopefully he gets reelected next year. But look how close we came to having here in Florida a very, very liberal governor. I mean, thankfully, right now we're being led by DeSantis, and it wasn't Andrew Gillum. That would have been a disaster for Florida.
That guy's an absolute cluster disaster. If you want a disaster, absolute corruption at its finest, Andrew Gillum is an absolute abject disaster. He is just and he's in charge. He's on CNN. I think he's one of the heads of the DNC. I mean, the guy is like completely corrupt. I mean, and the Democrats are like, "Oh, he's just a good guy." No, he's a scumbag. That's what it is. The guy is a scumbag.
Yeah.
And there's all sorts of proof out there. You can look it up. We don't have time on the show tonight to tell you all of the ways. Just look up Andrew Gillum. He is garbage, absolute garbage, and that's what you get. I mean, you get corrupt Democrats all the time, and they're like, "We're here to help the people." No, you're here to create a disaster and say the government's got to fix it. It's like the government's going to create this Obamacare, Affordable Health Care Act. Then they're going to destroy the private health care sector. And they're like, we're going to come in and say, we got to fix this. We got to make single payer. That was the whole thing. They wanted to create something so bad. And here's the thing. I wish the Republicans would have called it for what it was. It was an attempt to commit healthcare suicide in our country. That's what it was. It was designed that way. But luckily, it didn't happen to us. And the American people woke up and they rejected it. Many Americans just rejected it outright, saying this is garbage. My health premiums went up. I thought I was going to save $2,500 a year. What? My doctor won't take my insurance anymore? I thought I'd keep my doctor. I mean, when you start affecting people's lives directly like that, when you start hitting them at home like that on their pocketbook and with the doctor, people get pissed. And that's what happened. And that's why 2016
you can look at you can look at next year, and I know that obviously when it comes to the different elections, obviously you don't hear about the local elections or the statewide elections until you get right up to primary date, which is usually in Florida, I think in August, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. You're going to see across the country, I think for a large part, you're going to see some people who claim to be conservatives. They're going to get voted out because they did not stand with Trump with trying to repeal Obamacare. The beginning of was it mid 2017, I believe, when they had to vote for it. I want to say it was maybe like July or June of 2017, and a lot of them feared the backlash if they voted to repeal it. Well, you know what? If you voted to, what was going on in 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015?
They're trying to get rid of it. They were taking votes all the time.
When they were trying to get rid of it, it was a show vote. Yeah. It was a show vote because it was never going to go through. It was never going to go through on the Senate side.
They're like, we're really trying hard. We're trying really hard to get rid of it.
But then when you have both the Senate and the Congress, and you have the ability with Trump in the White House to eradicate the whole thing, and then you stand up against him because you don't like his way of doing things, that shows you what kind of politicians we're dealing with here.
Well, yeah.
On both sides of the
cowards.
Aisle. And it's all about power, and they were being bought out in the first place. So that all that does is show me, and I think anybody else, that both sides of the aisle are corrupt.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'll call out there's a number of people that I hope are, there's a number of people who I hope are voted out of office. I mean, quite frankly, that's you've had your chance to do what you're supposed to do.
Will, not your will. That's the thing. And we have so many politicians who get elected office to become millionaires. What? You became a millionaire in like 6 years on $150,000 a year? I don't get how you did that. I don't understand the concept of how you became millionaires so quickly. And I'm not just like saying 1 million or 2 million. I mean, multi-millionaires. It's like they get insider information and all of a sudden they become rich. It's like they know the laws. They're creating them. It's pretty easy concept.
They always, and that they always talk about after a mass shooting or, we need new laws. No, we need to enforce the laws we have on the books first and foremost.
Absolutely.
Where they need new laws is these politicians who are taking under the table money or taking bribes or taking, benefits from big corporate America or from big pharma or from whoever to lobby on their behalf. So they're saying one thing to the general public who they got voted in by, but then on the other side of the door, when the door's closed, they're like, oh yeah, big pharma, I'm going to take your $1.5 million per year payout, put it in my offshore account somewhere, and I'll make sure that when it comes to the vote, I vote for what is your best interest, not the people who are my constituents. That's exactly how it happens all the time. That's on both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, it's on both sides of the
aisle.
aisle.
And that's not a conspiracy theory. No. That's a fact.
Yeah, we're not doing conspiracy theories on that. That's absolute fact. All right, so let's change gears. Now, Aaron, did you have the Popeyes spicy chicken sandwich? Did you get one?
I have not yet been able to get to Popeyes. I'm going to try it, though, because I'm a Chick-fil-A supporter. I'll probably have to go to Popeyes on a Sunday because Chick-fil-A, is closed on Sundays. I want to try it out. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I can't see it being better than
When do you plan on getting the said Popeye sandwich?
Well, I mean, let's see here. Today is Tuesday. I may aim for it this weekend if I get an opportunity to.
Okay, let
Gotta
me
see how
get,
things play out.
I'm gonna have to break this to you. They won't have any for at least 2 more months. They have run out of the Popeye spicy chicken sandwich.
I'm outraged, Matt.
I'm outraged as well.
I may have to file a lawsuit here.
And
I may have to file a lawsuit here. This is insane.
That's what one man has done. He has filed a lawsuit against Popeyes. A Tennessee man claims he spent countless hours finding something else to eat after Popeye's chicken ran out of its popular crispy chicken sandwich this prior week. So he's suing the chain for wasting his time, according to WTVC. It's so
You can't make this stuff up, can you?
The lawsuit, which is seeking $5,000 in damages, alleges that Popeyes engaged in false advertising and deceptive business practices by an entity to the public. It says, I can't get happy. I have this sandwich on my mind. I can't think straight. The man filing the summons, Craig Barr, told the Times Free Press, it just consumes you. Oh, God. That Publix cake offended him probably, too.
I want to know what this guy does for a living, other than living in his mom's basement.
No,
what does this guy do?
This gets better. Barr said he answered a blacklist Craigslist ad from a friend of a man claiming to be a Popeyes worker who said he was selling chicken sandwiches out the back of the restaurant for $24. He was on
Holy
a blacklist
$24 for a chicken sandwich. That's
$24 for said
I'm in the
Popeyes.
wrong business, apparently.
The black market has begun. Oh, there's a black market for Popeye's chicken, just like black market for guns and drugs. All right, I get it now. All right, so Barr said the man took his money, but never received the sandwich. Countless time wasted driving to and from Popeyes. No chicken sandwich was told to come back this day. Still no sandwich, Barr said. This is like a great movie. This is like a Lifetime movie. I can't wait for it. Barr said he filed the lawsuit to stand up to big corporate, according to the newspaper. He was assigned a court date at the end of October. Oh my God. He's blaming big corporate America for his inability in paying $24 for a sandwich he never received.
I would love to see this. Matt, I think this would be a great case for Judge Judy to end up with on her show. Can you imagine how much she'd rip this guy apart? Sir, you were willing to pay $24 for a chicken sandwich.
You could have went to
You got
Chick-fil-A
what was coming to you, sir.
and got 5 of them. You could have got 5.
Or 6, actually, for
Or
that
6.
much. Yeah.
Yeah.
For $24, you could have gotten 6 Chick-fil-A sandwiches.
And you know what? They would have said thank you to him.
$24.
They would have said my pleasure and not took his $24 and not gave him anything. Because, Chick-fil-A's, chicken from Jesus. That's why it is.
Unbelievable. I just $24 for a sandwich, dude. First of all, you admitted in this article.
You're trying to go blacklist. You're going to on
Mr. Barr. What he's admitted in this article is that he found out from a friend of a friend that there was somebody behind the restaurant selling sandwiches out of the back. So you're already going through channels that are not appropriate to be buying chicken sandwiches. I mean,
how is that appropriate?
I don't know about you, but if
anything?
I'm going into a back alley.
He went to a back alley.
Yeah, if I'm going into a back alley.
Can you imagine how bad it smells behind the Popeyes chicken? With the grease and all the trash. He was willing to buy a sandwich.
$24. I'm just thinking outside the box here, Matt. No pun intended. I would think $24 would get you a lot more than just a chicken sandwich behind a Popeyes, but that's just me.
$24. I mean, and how was $24? Now, the black market guy that set up his $24 price point, did he do market analysis, or he's to the highest bidder? The highest bidder was $24. How did he get this $24 number? I'm curious how this number got made, because this story may have never even happened. Because the guy's probably certifiably nuts, driving around town looking for local Popeyes.
He is certifiably nuts. He said it right here. He says, I'm going to quote it here. I can't get happy. First of all, they make pills for that, buddy, but that's a whole other story. I have this sandwich on my mind. I can't think straight. The man filing the summons, Craig Barr, blah, 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 blah. It just consumes you. If a sandwich consumes you like that,
sure he's not on
you
crack.
need to really
sure
get
he was
a
trying to buy
life,
crack
you know?
from behind the Popeyes? Is that how it works? Because I can't.
What was it laced with? That's what I want to know. What was it laced with?
Oh yeah.
That made it $24.
Oh, it was the herbs and spices, man. It's a secret recipe. Can you imagine if KFC came out with a sandwich like that? KFC. Did you see Wendy's Twitter? Wendy's Twitter is the most savage thing you can see in corporate America. They have zero filter. They said, "Oh, y'all running around for sandwiches from two places, and we got number one over here." I'm like, "Damn, Wendy's, Wendy's! Like y'all be fighting in the streets, but we got number one over here." I mean, I never had a Wendy's chicken sandwich. I do love me some Wendy's though. I love me some Wendy's double sacks. I love me some Wendy's fries and some Wendy's Frosties.
Yeah, their chicken sandwich at Wendy's is pretty good. I haven't had it in a while,
but it's hilarious because they're like, y'all can fight.
They have a breakfast. Matt, let me just tell you, if you ever have time to go to Wendy's for breakfast, they have a breakfast chicken. I'm trying to think of what it is. It's a breakfast chicken biscuit, and it has this, like, I don't know what kind of cheese they put on it, but they have this, like, honey Dijon mustard. I swear to you, as soon as you finish eating the first one, you'll go back and order another one.
You're going to create a panic, and there's going to be people suing Wendy's because they didn't have any chicken sandwiches. You can't be advertising like
I don't
that.
want that on my conscience, for sure.
No, you don't, because someone's going to go around town and not be happy. They can't be made happy anymore because they can't get their chicken sandwich. Man, just go somewhere to eat some food, dude. If you had $24, man, you could have bought a lot of food. You could have bought 2 days worth.
I could fill my gas tank up for $24. That's insane.
Dude, you drive like a Yugo, man. You ain't going nowhere. I'm just joking, Aaron. I'm just joking. I joke. I've got 22 gallons of gas in my garage right now because I hoarded the gasoline. Because I'm not one of those greenies. I'll pump the gas in all my gas cans, and just in case I have to rescue them because they're Priuses and they're. Did you see that people were freaking out because they didn't know if they can charge their cars, their plug-in cars? Because if the power went out, they couldn't get around.
A little funny. The irony is just beyond.
It's like, you stupid asses. You spent so much money on a plug-in only car. It's like the people with the Teslas out there. I'm not saying anything about people with Teslas, but there's some people with Teslas out there saying, I can't go nowhere. Well, guess what? I got the Hemi, and I'm going places, and you ain't. This is the way life is. I mean, you got to plan properly. I mean, if you had solar panels, I mean, as the Fiskars, they had solar panels on the top of their cars. So as long as there's sun outside, you can drive your car around. But just the irony of hurricane season and no power for days. I can't plug my car up. Well, ain't that a shame? You can't use fossil fuels from the electric company saying you're green. Moron.
Well, at least they're not contributing to their carbon footprint, I guess, at that point.
Oh, absolutely,
so that's a good thing.
Not. I mean, they can't plug in and suck it off the stupid power plant that's burning coal. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, people. I mean, we know that you're using we know you're using fossil fuels. You're using it behind the Popeyes for $24. That's how you're doing it, man. All right, so let's go into the next story. This is like a crazy story coming out of Jersey. New Jersey school district considers not serving lunch to students who owe more than $20. This is out of Cherry Hill, New Jersey. A plan to deny food to students with lunch debt is sparking controversy in New Jersey. NBC News reports the Cherry Hill School District Board of Education has faced pushback since August the 13th, meeting when Assistant Superintendent Lynn Sugars proposed giving tuna sandwiches to students who had a more than $10 lunch debt, and students who owe more than $20 be denied lunch altogether. Sugars, I can't pronounce the name because that's what I do, So the district chose a tuna sandwich for children with more than $10 in debt because we know that our little ones would probably very happily eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches until the end of time. So they're trying to punish them by giving them tuna sandwiches. It's like, we will not allow you to get in debt and have a good time. We're going to punish you with tuna salad sandwiches till the end of time. These people are assholes, man. It's like your parents are probably deadbeats, and now you're beating the kids up with tuna salad sandwiches instead of peanut butter and jelly. Oh my God. So many, including teachers, are not happy with this idea. Being a teacher 7 years, I would give students lunch money if they needed because I want to make sure they were fed, said teacher Kristen Tempera. They get irritable, and they'll constantly, they'll say it. I'm hungry. My stomach hurts. They'll want to go to get a drink of water. They'll want to go to the bathroom. District leaders citing New Jersey state law, which requires written notification to families before denying students food. Oh my God, what are your thoughts on this one, Aaron? This is crazy.
Where's Bernie Sanders when you need him, I guess? I don't know.
Still Bernie, man. He's driving his fast sports car. What was that car? He had an Audi A8 or something? I mean, he's riding out in style.
Yeah, he had something that was well out of our price ranges, for sure.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who's $200,000?
I don't know. I go back to when I was the age that these kids probably are. I mean, this is over 25 years ago.
Wow. Wow, you're old, dude. It's true.
Yeah, we're both up there. In all fairness.
Yep, it's back.
But I go back to when I was a kid, and if your parents made below a certain amount of money, and I don't know what the range was then, and I don't know what it is now, you were on either free or reduced lunch. So that wouldn't apply in this case here in Florida. And then if you were above a certain amount, obviously you had to pay for your lunches. Now, my kids all go to public school, and everything is free here in Polk County now. I don't know when they changed that. It was probably in the last 5 or 6 years.
Free lunches?
Yeah.
What?
Free lunches everywhere, yeah.
What? Where's my free lunch, dude?
Yeah.
Oh, free lunch.
I know. We got to work hard for our money to pay for it. So,
man. Taxpayer dollars.
They've got to find a way to I'm kind of on both sides on this. I can see one side of it where you owe a debt. Pay the debt off. Get back to at least zero, and then go from there. Somebody needs to come up with a good idea. But to punish the kids, because it's not the kids' fault necessarily, it's the parents. Parents maybe get behind on bills, or maybe they just don't have a good job that pays good money. There's a lot of reasons behind this. So, but at the same time, my personal opinion has always been, if you don't pay, you shouldn't expect to get something good.
Absolutely.
If you're going to get a free handout, it's going to be something that doesn't taste good. At least it fills your belly up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you ain't getting the a la carte for sure. You want the a la carte, you got to pay for that yourself.
Exactly. That's the thing here, and we got to start looking at the parents a little bit. It's like they're saying we should be punishing the kids, but how about the parents? The parents aren't stepping up here. Now, I challenge those parents. If you're buying beer or cigarettes or you got food at home, how about this? Make your kids damn lunch at home and stop being a deadbeat. I mean, honestly.
Yep.
I mean, you can't afford lunch meat. You can't afford peanut butter and jelly. If you can't afford that, there's something really wrong with your life. And you got to start prioritizing your life a little bit better. And I'm not trying to be judgmental here. I'm just trying to state the facts. It's like I don't have enough money to buy
That's a good
food.
example.
Then what are you buying? I mean, if you got a job,
Matt, I would say it's all about setting a good example, because I can guarantee you in almost every single one of these cases where a kid is $20 or more in debt and they're going to get denied at some point lunch.
It's $20. It ain't it.
Their parents.
It's not a
it's
big
a generational thing. Their parents probably, most likely, were not shown the right way by their parents, and so it's just basically trickled down to the next generation. That's all it is.
Thing. It's not a racial thing. It's a generational thing. I mean, there's
the article doesn't mention the race of any of these kids.
Asian, Hispanic. There's all sorts of deadbeats out there. But if you're not teaching your kids the right way, your kids are going to do the same thing later on. Or they're going to feel entitled because they're going to get free food anyways. They're just going to give them food. And should kids eat? Absolutely. But we got to look at these parents. What are these parents doing? It's like they're trying to push the envelope here with the public school board over there in New Jersey, saying, "Hey, you're gonna hurt my kid? Well, you're hurting your own damn kid. You're sending your kid there. You're weaponizing your kid against the school board. That's what you're really doing." These people just need to grow up. Pay the stupid lunch debt. Make sure your kids get fed. Stop being an asshole. That's what it comes down to. Jeez, God, man. We live in a world that's just upside down sometimes. We got people in the Bahamas with devastation, and we got morons in New Jersey that can't pay a $20 lunch bill. This is the world that we live in now. We live in a world of like, a cake offended me. Well, there's people in Bahamas just lost everything they ever owned. But you're complaining about a cake. I got it. I hope you're donating to the Red Cross and making sure people are taken care of because you're deeply offended by a cake. That's what it comes down to. These people are just complete jerks. Oh, God, man. All right, next story up tonight. Actually, you go for this one, Aaron. You go for this one.
Well, this is pretty simple. This is Trump. Tweeting is my only form of defense. If I got fair coverage, I wouldn't even have to tweet. So this is from C-SPAN's Steve Scully. Reading the tweets, do you think that the uniter? Do you think you're a uniter as president? Was a question that was asked to Donald Trump, and his response was, "Well, if I got fair coverage, I wouldn't even have to tweet. It's my only form of defense. If the press covered me fairly, I wouldn't even need that. But they don't cover me fairly." So I think we pretty much all agree on that one. That's pretty simple.
You are fake news.
That's what he says. That's why he has to tweet all the time. When he says this to everybody,
you are fake news.
This happens. That's what he does.
Let me throw an example out there to you. When Hurricane, what was the one that hit Harvey that hit 2 years ago? I think it was right about 2 years ago in Texas. Hit the Houston area pretty savagely. And obviously it was mostly a rainmaker. There was some wind damage, obviously, but it was mostly water damage. A lot of flooding. That area is lower lying than other parts of the state of Texas. So I do remember, I want to say it was CNN, and there might have been a major magazine that had this as one of their covers. It was Donald Trump, and the First Lady was with him as well. And the only thing they wanted to talk about was her attire, her shoes.
Yeah.
That right there is the only example I need from the media as far as unfair coverage. Talking about things that don't matter worth anything, he's out there trying to do what any president would do, trying to be, the leader that he's elected to be, and all they want to do is talk about his shoes and about, whether he responded in time. Just give me a break. It's really, really silly, and it makes you look really silly, media, when all you want to do is talk about things that really have no. There's no matter to them.
We're not talking about things that matter. We're talking about, you say Allen Iverson. We're talking about practice, man. Practice.
We're talking about practice, man. We're talking about practice.
But we're not talking about the actual shoes. We're talking about shoes. We're not talking about. This is America, man. Everybody's more concerned about what everybody else is doing rather than what you should be doing.
What they're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what ticks me off beyond no end, is that stuff. It's like, come on, guys. Can we grow up a little bit? Can we? Probably not. They don't want to grow up. They want to be tourist and go out of business.
That would require, critical thinking and, accepting that, certain people won elections and, yeah.
Oh, I know.
So that'll never happen, Matt. That's a pipe dream right there.
Oh, but they're Russian agents for Putin. What else was he? He's now the Antichrist. he was a Nazi. All these wonderful things. All these wonderful things and nothing sticks because they're not true. They say, he's a racist. Then why did he do all these things for African Americans and minorities? I don't get this. I mean, a racist wouldn't do those things.
Well, I got news for all these people who think he's a racist. If he's really a racist, he really sucks at it. Because if you look at our statistics, that's what we have to look at. The unemployment rate for African Americans is the lowest it's ever been in recorded history. Mm-hmm. Same thing for other minority groups, Hispanics. I mean, it's crazy. And if he really was a racist, why did he get awards back in the 80s and the 90s from the likes of the NAACP and Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton? Why did he get awards from those groups if he was such a racist? So that throw as much muck against the wall, it ain't gonna stick. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and people will eat it up. You got CNN, you got MSNBC, mainstream media. They're selling advertising. It's not about news reporting. It's like, look at the Weather Channel, man. The Weather Channel was like trying to all ramp us up over nothing. It's like these winds. What winds? You're in South Carolina right now. The storm ain't even there yet. You had a thunderstorm roll through. Grow up. Oh, there's waves.
Yeah.
It's the Atlantic Ocean. There's waves on the Atlantic Ocean, folks. I hate to break it to you. But they're selling ads. They're selling ads in ad time, in that it's entertainment too. They're green screening all this stuff. They're saying the same thing over and over again, and they couldn't predict it. It's like, oh, it's going to move today. No, maybe tomorrow. Maybe next week. Maybe Labor Day. Oh, no. Maybe it's going to be Veterans Day in November. We don't really know. But we're going to tell you what might happen. You might be devastation. It may not. We don't know. That's the thing, is in this country we are ramped up by media because they know what pushes our buttons. But once we turn them off, then we're okay. We're okay people.
Yeah.
We're going to survive. After Irma hit Florida, we survived. I mean, hurricanes hit. Storms happen. Blizzards happen. Tornadoes happen. What do we do as Americans? We rebuild. If we don't rebuild, there's a good reason why we didn't. I mean, you gotta use common sense sometimes, too. You just don't build it in New Orleans in a bowl and hope the water doesn't rush in one day. I mean, it's like common sense. I mean, you just can't think it's never going to happen. It's going to happen eventually. If it can happen, it'll probably happen. There's going to be another ice age, folks. I hate to break it to you. It happens. There's going to be another warm-up. It's going to happen. It's happened before. I mean, let's just grow up, people. Let's just use some common sense and stop acting like morons. And Donald Trump is trying to tweet out what he thinks because, honestly, he doesn't get fair coverage. And do people wish he tweet less? Yeah. But maybe if he got some fair coverage and not outright lies like you see in the mainstream media, maybe he would stop tweeting. But, hey, you want to know what's on a president's mind? You got it, man. You got it. It's in your face now. You got his Twitter feed is like the best. I mean, some of the things he says, I mean, you know what's on his mind? I mean, he called Rocket Man Little Rocket Man. But he gets along with him. I don't know. He hasn't started a war yet, folks. He hasn't started a war. Maybe a war of words,
exactly.
But he hasn't started a war. You know, he doesn't bomb baby formula factories like Bill Clinton. He doesn't bomb American citizens without trial like Barack Obama. But hey, you know, it's all in perspective. All right. So let's hit the feel-good story of the day, because we talk about a lot of hard-hitting politics on the show. We talk a lot of things that might make you upset, like baking cakes like hurricanes, or a Popeye sandwich offended you because you didn't get the $24 black market chicken sandwich from the back of a Popeyes. It smells like a grease trap. So let's talk about this teen who fought cancer, surprised with scholarship to become diesel technician in Avondale. This comes out of Avondale, Arizona. When most high school grads are thinking about their future, you know, Jamie Gomez has had to focus on the present, fighting a cancer diagnosis day by day. He said, I ended up having to do some more school for a little bit. And that was hard enough because I was just sick constantly and in the hospital, said Gomez. When he really but what he really wants to do is become a diesel technician. So Wednesday, his wish is coming true. He arrived at Universal Technical Institute in Avondale under the impression he would be signing paperwork and taking a tour. But the Make-A-Wish Foundation had something big planned. That's why I'm ecstatic to tell you that 100% of your tuition is being paid by the generosity of this group, announced UTI President and CEO Kim McWaters. It was a surprise that brought Gomez to tears. What a privilege to be able to help someone pursue an education and think about his wish being granted. He would have chosen anything, and he chose to improve his life. Get an education and go to Universal Technical Institute, said McWaters. This is what America's about. Kids can go to Disney World. Kids can go to a theme park. This kid just wants to make his life better. He's looking beyond the cancer diagnosis, beyond the treatments. He's looking forward to how am I going to make a difference in the future and provide myself a way to live. And honestly, diesel technician, they can make a lot of money. And the guy's going to get 100% of his tuition paid. He's going to come out, get a good paying job, and he's going to make a difference in his community. I applaud this guy. Good job. What do you think about that, Aaron? I think the kid's great. Great choice.
No, I mean, it's rare nowadays to see somebody his age thinking that far into the future. Normally it's the right here, the right now, but, it takes a special kind of person to say, I want to improve my future. I want to, open the door, open the road up to earn my way to where I want to be when I'm in my 20s, in my 30s, in my 40s, and beyond. So I admire this kid. That's something that you don't see a lot of anymore.
No, you don't.
That's a special kid right there for sure.
Yeah, the kid's going to go places. He's going to go places, and that's what we need. We need kids like that think beyond what's happening to them now and looking towards the future. That kid's going to go places, and that's what we like to see on the Brow Report. Good kids making good decisions. All right, Aaron. Thanks so much for joining us, man. I appreciate you stepping up. You always step up big time. Give us the real deal every time you're on the show, Aaron. And also,
good to be here, Matt. Good to be here.
Also, to all the people in the Bahamas and the people in the southeast United States, especially up in South Carolina, North Carolina, prayers and thoughts for all of y'all out there. I know it's been a crazy time here in Florida, just getting stressed out, but we avoided the big one, and we hope a swift recovery in the Bahamas for those great people out there, and prayers for the people that are in the way of Dorian going up towards the north. But we'll be back next week, Tuesday, live at 6 o'clock. Remember, you can get us on so many different ways, so many ways. We're bigly here. We're bigly, as Donald Trump says. You can get us on iHeart. You can get us on Facebook. You can get us on Instagram, iTunes. Find us on Stitcher, on YouTube, all these great places. Find us. Tell us what you think about the show. If you'd like to participate, you have a good guest idea, message on Facebook or on Instagram. We answer you. So we are that type of grassroots program. I want to say thanks a lot to Aaron. Thanks for everybody out there joining us tonight. Hope everyone has a great week, and we'll talk to you next Tuesday night on the Brow Report Radio Show. Good night.